Views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's host, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, alongside Mitchell Gunner. Great to have you along. Tonight's show, sponsored by Miracle Automotive Recovery in both Stark and McClenny. When it comes to automotive servicing or towing, Miracle gives you the best care anywhere. Call Kirk and Kenny Miracle at this number, 904-368-1114. Miracle Automotive, where miracles happen every day. Let's get the show started, as we always do, with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the week. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Please bow your heads as we go into prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, thank you again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for giving us this time to bring this show to all our viewers, dear Lord, and for their enjoyment, their pleasure, and their learning, dear Lord. Whatever information as we bring it to them, let them take it, put it in their hearts and their minds, and let them take it and do as they see fit. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, the most prosperous country, dear Lord, the most free, the most patriotic country, dear Lord, in the whole world today. Let us thank you for letting us live here, to keep your hand over this great country as we're going through some trials and some tribulations, and that you put your soothing hand and bring this country back to where it needs to be. Thank you for our armed forces, dear Lord, the greatest fighting armed forces in the world today, dear Lord, each and every one of them, all these young men and women that are out protecting our rights, our liberties, and our freedoms, and also against foreign and domestic terrorism, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us have these people, these young men and women, and the people that has fought for them before, dear Lord, that you keep a hedge of protection over them as well. Thank you again for the food that we receive each and every good day, and it goes to nourishment our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Anybody with a spoken or unspoken prayer request, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them, dear Lord, and that you are the ultimate healer, the ultimate sacrificer, you are the ultimate caregiver, dear Lord, and just touch them as you see fit, dear Lord. Again, thank you for this week. Thank you for this beautiful weather. Thank you for everybody that makes this great country of the United States of America run. And we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says, Amen. Right, let us stand for our pledge. I'm going to ask Mr. Mitchell Gunner, if you would, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. All right. Again, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Rodgers, right along Mitchell Gunner, the missing Mr. Byron Bagwell. He may be here with us a little bit later. He's got a couple of things going on right now. Mr. Austin Stevens not with us tonight, but we do have our director, and filling in for Mr. Austin Stevens will be Michael Heater, and of course our producer Dave Holland is in the house. So we've got a great show, action-packed tonight, Mitchell, as always. But I have a patriotic quote of the week, and I'm going to let y'all see if y'all can guess who said this. Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. He was one of our founding forefathers. Anybody want to take a guess? Mark? Anybody else? Benjamin Franklin, okay, that's a good guess.
I was going to say Thomas Jefferson.
You was going to say Thomas Jefferson.
Paul Revere.
Hey, not a bad guess. You are exactly right, Mitchell. That is Mr. Benjamin Franklin. So that is great news as well. I just want to give you a quick little tidbit. If you're looking for YouTube side of the show, after this one, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, it's going to be delayed to technical errors and hardware malfunction, but it will be up very shortly. So Austin Stevens will be taking care of that. So again, welcome in. Great show, action-packed. We're ready to go. Don't go anywhere because the 360 starts right now. This is the 360. Your news and weather update is 360 degrees in just 360 seconds. Brought to you by Southern Gem Photo Booth. Call 904-263-6079 and let Megan not only bring fun to your event, she can make it picture perfect. We begin tonight with breaking news in Alachua County, where northbound Interstate 75 is shut down as firefighters are wrapping up a rescue at mile marker 399. A vehicle flipped, trapping the driver, who is critically injured and being taken to a hospital. Over to Bradford County, where a series of major incidents have occurred over the last few days. Last night, a mother and daughter were killed in a major crash near the Alachua County line on U.S. Highway 301. Firefighters used the jaws of life to rescue the driver of a UPS delivery truck trapped inside his vehicle after the near head-on collision just before 7 p.m. The truck driver was transported by helicopter, and 2 small children were taken by ambulances to the trauma center. The children's mother, the driver, and the children's grandmother, the front seat passenger, were pronounced dead at the scene. US 301 was closed until 2 o'clock this morning, and the crash remains under investigation by the Florida Highway Patrol. Mike, before we go on, I know you were there at the site last night. Mm-hmm. I know it was pretty horrific. I happen to know the young lady that was involved in this and her 2 children, and it was just devastating to hear this news. We were actually on the way back from SeaWorld last night coming up. Mitchell Gunner gives me a phone call and says, David, you may want to try to avoid the area. I was going to call you, but I knew you were busy on the scene. If you can explain just a little bit about this horrific crash.
Sure. Bradford County Emergency Management, along with the Sheriff's Office and Fire Rescue, supported the Florida Highway Patrol in the investigation. 301 was blocked as this crash happened shortly after 7 p.m. The vehicle was traveling southbound on US 301 just north of the Bradford County, Alachua County line when, for an unknown reason, it slipped into the median, crossed over into the oncoming lane of traffic, striking the UPS truck head-on. Firefighters took about 15 minutes to remove the driver of the UPS truck with the jaws of life. He was taken, again, as Dave reported, by helicopter. 2 children in the backseat who were buckled in did survive the crash. Unfortunately, the mother and the grandmother who were in the front did not, due to the severe damage of the vehicles. This crash is ongoing. Coincidentally and unfortunately, this crash happened about 50 yards from the scene of another double fatal crash that happened a couple of years ago, where 2 pedestrians were struck while walking in the middle of the road. That near Southwest 85th Lane, near the Forestry Tower, for those that know that, just north of the bridge crossing into Bradford County from Alachua, northbound on 301.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, for that update. I'll tell you, that was a horrific thing there. And prayers to the family. Definitely. And everybody that's related to these, both these people that were involved, the UPS driver's family, of course, and of course those kids and their family as well. So the crash was the latest in a string of major incidents, including a crash involving a hazardous materials response in Stark on Sunday. Just before 5:30 p.m., a car crashed into a house on Weldon Street in Stark, resulting in a natural gas leak. Nearby homes were evacuated as firefighters worked to secure the leak and rescue the driver of the car. The driver was taken to the hospital, but no other injuries were reported. Also in Bradford County, a woman is behind bars after she stabbed her sister during a fight at their home on Northeast 173rd Street, north of Start. The suspect, Amanda Godwin, stabbed her sister Rachel Combs in the chest with a kitchen knife. Combs was pronounced dead at the scene. My goodness. Just before 1:30 a.m., Godwin was arrested for first-degree murder and is being held in the Bradford County Jail. The Ocala man charged recently with attempted murder of a law enforcement officer may face a lesser charge instead. On March 19th, officers were called to the Ocala downtown square about two intoxicated people. After giving a couple a ride home, officers thought they heard a disturbance as they were leaving. They knocked on the door and the woman answered. And while talking with her, officer says Trevor David Henderson pointed a loaded gun in the police officer's face. Henderson and the officer struggled for the firearm, and Officer Jordan Decker managed to take the weapon away from Henderson, according to the arrest report. Henderson faced a judge on Saturday for his first appearance hearing, and an assistant public defender argued the facts of the case did not support the charge of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer. We will continue, ladies and gentlemen, to follow this story. Over to Gilchrist County in extreme western Alachua County, where smoke blanketed the area west of State Road 45 between Newberry and High Springs earlier today. The Florida Forest Service conducted a 245-acre prescribed burn today. The burn wrapped up a short time ago. Residents in Columbia County are receiving phone calls from people claiming to deliver coronavirus vaccines at individuals' homes. The callers may inquire about personal information and offer to personally administer the vaccine at a private residence. If you receive a call and have not made no kind of appointment through the local health department, please contact the Sheriff's Office in Columbia County. That number is 386-719-2005. Over to Alachua County, where 8 inmates were taken to a Gainesville hospital after they were involved in an accident while being transported from the Lottie Correctional Institution this morning. At 7:10 a.m., a Florida Department of Transportation van was headed south on Waldo Road near Gainesville when a car veered into it. Both of the drivers were uninjured. However, all 8 inmates were taken to the hospital as a precautionary measure. Clay County officials say applications are currently being accepted for the half-cent sales tax citizen oversight committee. The deadline for accepting applications is Friday, April 23rd. And finally, the new Taco Bell in Keystone Heights is set to open up tomorrow morning. The new restaurant opens just a week after Cedar River Seafood opened in the site of the former Northways restaurant. Taco Bell is located next to Capital City, and Dollar General, across from the Ace Hardware off State Road 21, while Cedar River is on State Road 100 on the north side, across from Hardee's and Johnny's Barbecue. That's the latest news from around the region. Now, here's your weather forecast.
This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you. Hey, and good evening, everybody. Michael Peters sitting in for Austin Stevens. He's doing a little storm chasing this evening, and for good reason, too. Some severe weather moving in across the southeastern part of the United States. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Let's talk about the pollen. Once again, the numbers have continued to climb here, as you can see, moving up. And by the end of the week, we're going to be back up into the high 11s, pushing 12. For those of you with allergies, like the show pony over here and a few others, it's going to get rough for us once again. The big one here is the oak. Juniper starting to weaken a little bit, the grasses as well, but the oak pollen and allergies continue to be a problem, and we'll see that for the next few days. Now, moving on to the national map, you'll see what we're talking about with Austin being off chasing storms. There's a reason for that. Look at this band of rain moving in from Mexico, stretching all the way up to Maine. this huge swath of rain and scattered storms as a result of this cold front right here that's going to eventually start moving into our area, but not anytime soon. The problem with us is going to be the hot temperatures. However, Pascagoula, Mississippi, you guys stretching all the way over Pensacola, Florida, you're under the threat of severe weather once again. It won't be as severe as it was when we talked about it last week, with Birmingham and those areas getting hit, but you're still going to see the possibility of hail, lightning, strong winds, and you could see the threat of a tornado. Watch for any tornado watches that are posted as we talked about last week. Further north into Arkansas and Mississippi, flooding rain potential exists there. We're going to have to keep an eye on that as well for those of you in that area. For us, though, dry conditions. The clouds are starting to lift finally after several days of just really gloomy, icky weather. But the heat returns with a vengeance. Now, Austin mentioned this in his forecast several days ago, and he was spot on with it. As we look at the regional forecast, you'll see what we're talking about. This area right in here, again, this part here is going to see a lot of the rain and the storms. Again, Pascagoula, and for those of you that were questioning it, yes, we did. Arrow over here to Mississippi, getting it to Alabama. Didn't think you were going to do that. Yes, we did. We took care of that for you. But we are looking at some rainfall stretching from Nashville down to Pascagoula. It's going to get a little bit weaker as you move along here. For Florida, though, tomorrow's temperature of 85, buddy, it's going to skyrocket. By Thursday, we're into the 90s. Now, I bumped the temperatures down to 88 on Friday because I think we're going to have a little bit more cloud cover for the area, but I wouldn't be surprised if we push 90 again. And this is just the beginning. I'm pretty sure this last cool snap we had several days ago, that's it for the summer. Probably won't start getting cool again until realistically October or November. The hazy sunlight will be out and about. If you're going to the Strawberry Festival this weekend, sunscreen is going to be important, and stay hydrated because temperatures are going to be toasty and warm. That is the latest from Austin's Weather Service. David, back to you.
Well, appreciate that, Mike. Great weather report. Of course, if you miss that weather report, we're going to give it back to you one more time, Mitchell, at the end of the show.
That's right.
Mr. Michael Heater will come back on and give us that weather report again. And if not, you can catch it on Austin's Weather Service as well. Austin will have the greatest and latest weather for you as well. Here's your Thursday night trivia hint. What are you talking about, David? Thursday night trivia hint. Well, here it is. Each Tuesday night, we tease you with the answer to one of the questions from Thursday night team trivia at the Downtown Grill, hosted by yours truly there, Mitchell,
right.
David Rodgers. How about that?
The show pony.
The show pony. The trick is, we do not give you the question, Mitchell. You have to come out for trivia night on Thursday to play, and the top 3 teams win gift certificates for the Downtown Grill. Now, you say clue or a hint.
Right.
Well, how about this? Since trivia was canceled last Thursday, here's your clue, and be sure to come out Thursday night at 7 p.m. for team trivia, and the answer is, well, I'll be dadgum. Clue. Who would know? Did you have a clue?
I didn't have a clue, did you?
Did you have a clue?
I might have had a clue.
Dave?
No clue at all.
I had no clue. Well, there it is on the screen right there. So, clue is the answer there, but you're not getting a question until you come to Thursday night team trivia. We should have a great crowd there. And now, here's your favorite segment that brings back a little history. Brought to you by our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Bellis.
Can I pause for just a second?
Sure!
Happy 70th birthday, Chuck.
Exactly right. And you hit it right on the head. His birthday was actually Sunday, was it not?
It was, yes,
was
indeed.
Sunday.
Yes, it was.
So, yes, absolutely. And the Bradford County Telegraph, John Miller, John Ryan, Elizabeth Tillman, Mark Crawford, and, of course, sports director and all guru of things, Cliff Smelly. Here's What's the Date? Here's the headlines from the Bradford County Telegraph during the 3rd week of March in what year? Fishing for a friend. Really, Mitchell? Judge's monument ordered blasted before commission. Investigators say extension cord started a fire. And water partnership overshadowed by Keystone Heights project. Was that March of 2008, March of 2010, or March of 2012. Fishing for a friend. Judge's monument order blasted before commission. Investigators say extension cord started a fire and water partnership overshadowed by the Keystone Heights project. Was it March of 2008, David? Michael, March of 2010? Or Mitchell, March of 2012? Get a little hint here. The Stark Police Department organized a fishing tournament to benefit Relay for Life, and SPD officer Stephen Murphy, a cancer survivor himself. 20 boats participated, raising David $2,500 for that.
Wow.
Nice. Controversy surrounding the Ten Commandments monument at the Bradford County Courthouse remained as the Commission and Circuit Judge Martha Lott disputed whether she should have input on any monument decisions. The state fire marshal concluded a faulty extension cord led to a fire that destroyed a home on State Road 100 near County Road 21B near Keystone Heights. You probably know it now, Mitchell. And a potential conflict between the St. John's Water Management District and the Swanee River Water Management District complicated discussions about water being pumped from Bradford County to help replenish lakes in Keystone Heights. Fishing for a friend. Judge's monument order blasted before commission. Investigators say extension cord started the fire and water partnership overshadowed by Keystone Heights project. Was that March of 2008, March of 2010, or March of 2012? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers, your favorite segment. Here's where you get a chance to win a $25 gift certificate from the Downtown Grill owners, Chrissy and Ricky Thompson. Providing that, of course, great to have you along tonight. We have an action-packed show. Here's your chance to play. If you get this question right, Michael, tell them what they're going to go in if they get that question right.
Well, you'll be into the drawing for a lovely $25 gift certificate from the Downtown Grill.
How many do we have in there, Michael?
As far as entries go?
Yes.
At last count, there was 22 names in the hat.
It's going to be exciting to see who gets it. And it's also important to remember that just because you've won before doesn't mean you
can't win again.
Right.
So you want to make sure you answer the question and get the answers to David before the end of the segment so that your name goes in the hat. And you may have 1 or 10 entries, depending on how you've done.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the month, we reach into the old leather fire helmet, we pull out a name, and that winner gets the gift certificate.
And as Michael just said, they're perfect segue into a couple of things we got coming up. Mitchell's got some local things coming up. And in his local report, we are going to talk to Josh Hart.
That's right.
How about that? NHRA top fuel guy won over at the Gator Nationals.
In his debut. How about that?
Yeah, after we talked about him. Remember we asked him about that question?
Yes,
I wonder what he's going to say about that. Interesting to see.
Have to tune in and listen.
Yeah, you have to for that interview that will be coming right up. But right now, I'm looking for your answers, and we're going to welcome in some people right here. Miss Gail Allen, Benny Jackson, Melissa Manning, Miss Bagwell, Joseph Sayers, Sharon Petterprin. The model says, hello, gentlemen. Ed is out walking the dog, but he will join us later. That's a great job for Mr. Edward Petterprin, walking the dog. Archie Waters, hey, hello there. Raymond No, who was our first winner, by the way. By the way, we got to get him his gift certificate. I got it in my bag. It's been sitting there. Need to get it to him, really. We got to get it to him. Who was our second winner?
Our second winner was
Miss Shirley Bagwell. Yep. Right. Who was our third winner?
I believe that was Lydia Morris.
Okay. And who was our past month's winner?
And the last one was, I believe, Ms. Mary Salvatore.
That's it right there. So somebody's going to be the fifth, I'm telling you, winner of this thing. Archie Waters says, Byron is out looking for his man bun. Noah Gibson, hello there. Dorothy Starlin. Sarge, what's up? Hey, let's say hello to Sarge. Sarge, what's up, Sarge? John Gardner from Pascagoula, Mississippi is watching. How about that? Great weather report, Mike. Jimmy Sparks from Lake City. What's going on, brother? Roy Jackson's on. Coach Tomlinson's on. Say, hey, Coach, what's going on now?
Hey, Coach.
Class 1A, I hear, Coach. We're going to be talking a little bit about that on Saturday night, by the way. Get a little bit of information. Anybody else does not have sound? I think we do have sound. Is everybody okay? Audio okay? It's good to go. My producer says, thumbs up, David. Keep it rolling. Byron Bagwell. is on. He says, good evening, brothers, sisters, patriots, and miscreants and infidels. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Did you find your man bun, brother? I don't know. I haven't found mine. I hope he found his. Randy Brooks, Megan Church, Janet Rolls on. Hey, Judith Young's on. Dave Holland Jr.'s on.
Yes.
Jeff Riggins, my buddy over at New Millennium, works with me over at New Millennium. Roy Jackson says 2012. Noah Gibson says 2012. Randy Brooks says 2010. Hey, all got sound. Must have been my phone. Probably was, Sarge. But that's okay. Hey, as long as you're hearing us now, that's good. Waters says 2010. Benny Jackson, 2008. Tammy Testone, 2008. By the way, I got to stop right here. Did y'all hear that Albie was hospitalized?
No, did not.
Yes. Albie was admitted to, I think he went into the ICU for a little while. Maybe Tammy can give us an update. But hey, hello, Albie. Right. We hope you're feeling a lot better and you're watching a show tonight on the spot with David Rodgers. We love you. There's no doubt about that. Tammy Testone again says 2008. Dorothy Starling, 2010. Noah Gibson, 2012. Mr. Petterprin says 2010. Will Smith is watching. I am ready to come home now, Dave Holland Jr. says. Archie Waters, 2010. Sharon Petterprin, 2008. Raymond No, 2010. And Byron Bagwell says, no man bun. Well, I beg to differ because I believe we have some pictures of you coming up here in just a little bit. So, there you go. All right, last chance. I'm going to ask my panel. Michael, what do you say?
The thing is, I vaguely remember the fire.
The fire, yep.
For some reason, that would stick in my mind. Who would
a firefighter wouldn't have.
Yeah, so because I remember the fire and because of when I started, I've been in Bradford County for 10 years or so. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking it's 2012.
You're thinking it's 2012.
I think so. I may be wrong, but I'm thinking 2012.
David didn't like that answer. Dave?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2010.
You're going to go with 2010, okay?
I'm going to go with 2012 because I've been doing the Relay for Life car show, and I know how many years I've been doing it.
I knew there was
that same year they done the fishing tournament out there at Lake Santa Fe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with 2012.
You're going to go 2012. Okay. I already know the answer. So, all right.
I may be wrong, but
you may be wrong. Everybody's saying get well, Albie. Of course, we want you to get well for sure. Michael Box is on. Miss Bagwell says 2010, by the way.
Okay.
And Byron says, oh, I feel that love. All right, guys, here we go. And the answer is, wait for it, give us a little drum roll. And the answer is
boom.
March of 2012. Michael just threw y'all off the curve, didn't he? What did you say, Mike?
Not me, because I actually keep up with them Relay for Life.
He did say 12. Yeah, that was a good call. I seen you smiling when we was reading that, and I think you had already known the answer. So anybody that
see me over here counting on my fingers, counting backwards.
Yeah. So anybody 2012? Yes. So y'all are in for the drawing. As a matter of fact, that drawing, Mike, is that coming up Saturday, by the way?
Will be coming up on Saturday.
Oh, my goodness. That drawing will be coming up on Saturday. So, absolutely right. So, glad that y'all could join us again. And we'll be right back after this message for the Roundtable.
Hey, Tornado fans. This is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida and David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the Roundtable alongside Mitchell Gunner. No Byron Bagwell tonight, but he is online with us, so hopefully he'll chime in. The phone line is now open. The number is 904-458-7588. If the line is busy, you can leave a message and we'll read your message on the air. You can also try to call back if you wish, and or you can hit us on Messenger right here as we scroll the comments. You can leave something on our email address on the spot, 32091@gmail.com. You can message any of us. I tell you, it's a great segment. It's your time to shine right here, because here in just a few minutes, we're getting ready to get Mr. Josh Hart on, and we're going to have a great interview with NHRA top fuel driver at the Gator Nationals. Won that thing, wasn't sure, he just wanted to qualify and just get through the
try
thing.
to get in there and learn some new things, and boom. He wins it, and all you have to do is qualify, make that 16-car field, and you always have a chance of winning.
That's it. So we're going to jump in right to the latest around the community. The phone lines is still open because it's Mitchell Gunner with What's the Scoop?
Community happenings and topics with our own local voice on current events, Mr. Mitchell Gunter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right before we call Mr. Josh Hart, I wanted to go over some events. Of course, this weekend is the Strawberry Festival located down at the Bradford County Fairgrounds.
Yep.
It's going to have a lot of vendors there. We're going to have a car show on Saturday from 1 to 5 o'clock. So if you got a vehicle, bring it out. For the car show, we're going to have over 21 awards. We're going to have door prizes. There's going to be a 50-50 drawing. You have to be present, but everyone there can participate in that 50-50 drawing. And remember, all the money from the car show and the 50-50 drawing goes to community and schools and the Bradford County Education Foundation. So come out and support that event.
Can I bring my big wheel?
Sure, bring it on out, Dave.
Okay.
Just fork over $20 and you're entered.
For a big wheel?
Hey, for any vehicle.
Oh, boy.
Hey, it's going for a good cause.
All right, I'll pitch it in for $20. You bring yours too, Mike.
Also, another event that's coming up will come up on April the 9th and the 10th, and this is also going to be held at the Bradford County Fairgrounds. It is the Bradford Agriculture event. So I think this is going to be a great event. As more and more details come in, we will bring it up on our show. I just want to let everybody know the Bradford County Commissioner meeting was canceled last week due to severe weather. It has been rescheduled for 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, March the 25th at the Governor Charlie E. Johns Conference Center located at 1610 North Temple Avenue. Please call the office of the county manager at 904-966-6327 with any questions. Also, the City of Stark will be holding its City Commission meeting on March the 29th. The meeting will start at 5:30 p.m. They moved the date back so they can actually get through a lot of material and not go real late into the evening.
Great job, yeah.
Also in the City of Stark, coming up on April the 3rd and 4th, there will be some detours set up because State Road 100 will be shut down. This is going to be shut down for them to dewater system be added into there. And also they're going to put some road plates down for traffic to get back and forth. And also in Bradford County news, guess what? The Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine is now available. You can actually make an appointment for this upcoming March the 31st to get that vaccine. Remember, the Johnson & Johnson is one shot, not two.
Right.
Additional COVID-19 appointments for Bradford County, and this is just the regular COVID, the two shots,
Right.
will take place on March the 29th, March the 30th, March the 31st, and April the 1st. And also, so same dates are also for Union County. So I just wanted to get through those couple of things real quick as we call our guest right now to have him join us on the show. And if you have any questions to ask him, please feel free to
Absolutely.
call our line and ask him yourself.
And that number is, Mitchell, 904-458-7588. 904-458-7588. Mitchell is getting a hold of him right now. Again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. We hope you join the interview right here with NHRA top fuel driver Josh Hart.
Hey, Mr. Hart.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Mitchell Gunter with On the Spot with David Rodgers. We want to welcome you back to the show to talk about your success at Gainesville Raceway.
All right.
All right, Mr. Hart, we appreciate you coming on, taking time out from your busy schedule to join us again on the spot with David Rodgers. The last time we had you on, it was a great time, great interview. A lot of people were following you, and we're excited for what has happened to you here within the last couple of weeks. So, Mitchell, I'm going to let you start off with the questions. And again, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Josh Hart.
Well, Josh, how does it feel winning your debut race? And, by doing that, you were able to join the names like Darrell Russell and Gary Selsey that's in the history books for winning their debut race.
I would say still hasn't quite sunk in yet. And I got very comfortable in the car very quickly. And it was a storybook type of an entry for our top fuel debut.
And I tell you, I think all that experience in that alcohol car actually helped you out a whole bunch, switching over from alcohol dragster to nitro. And I tell you what, it was a great day. I know fans who follow other teams, they were going crazy for you. They were, energetic and happy that that you were able to win this debut.
Hey, Josh, this is I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. The fans were amazing. The energy that the crowd was putting out was pretty uncomprehendable. No one knew who I was. I think we handed out 5,000 hero cards. We sold out of T-shirts. It was mind-boggling.
You got to let me know when you get some T-shirts in.
Yes.
Because I need to buy one for me and also one for my son.
Well, we want to all buy one, Josh,
There you
so
go.
we can. So on our Sports Saturday show, we can wear those. And hey, to me, I don't care what anybody says. Racing is a sport.
Oh, it is.
Doesn't matter to me. So, again, this is David Rodgers, your host, Josh. I've got a question for you. Can you describe how important it was to acquire Ron Douglas as your crew chief?
Well, I think in every interview I gave the man praise, and he's the maestro in the symphony. That's for sure. I mean, he definitely has a well-organized program. The team members that followed him, I'm forever grateful for. I mean, I hope to obtain his services for a very long time.
And I tell you, he does such a great job. I came by there a couple times while they were tearing down and putting your motor back together between rounds. And I tell you what, the magic that works between you and other teams alike. Everybody's got their own particular job. You got your bottom guys that does the bottom end. You got the guys that work on your heads. You got the guy that works on your supercharger, and how they work in fashion. Know right when they have to get out of the way for the other person to get in there to tackle their job is amazing.
Yeah, I really cannot give them enough credit for what they did, because once I knew that I had a great hot rod underneath me, it just built my confidence, and it was game on from that point on. Ron and I have a lot of the same characteristics with our personalities. We're kind of quiet, keep to ourselves, but him and I have kind of hit it off right off the rip here.
That's great. Now, here's a question for you. What was going through your mind after that Pedal Fest win in round one?
Well, when the car's going almost 300 miles an hour and it sets sideways, I'm pretty sure you can imagine what was on my mind. But
you felt like you were driving a dirt track car, didn't you, at first?
Yeah. It's kind of like, I got it. Okay, I better get out of it. So, but, hey, my wife's watching. Don't do nothing stupid,
Yeah, and mentioning that, we've seen the Salinas girl that actually was driving your old alcohol dragster actually go over the wall during qualifying on Saturday. And you, as a driver, you have to feel those things by the seat of your pants, per se, to know when you have to get out of it or when you can get back in a throttle. And I tell you, you've done a great job in round one for picking up that win. Them are some really difficult things to go through to, try to make it down to the finish line and see your light come on in your lane.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that Jasmine's okay. Her family is a bunch of great people. Mike actually came up and was one of the first people to welcome me in the staging lanes to the top fuel ranks. And as sad as I was to see that beautiful car, obviously it's destroyed, but as hard as that was, I'm just glad that she's okay. That they're not designed to go off the track, and
right.
all bets are off when you cross that wall. So the fact that she walked away was amazing.
Right, and that goes to show you that the car did its job, and the car there is also to act and do its job as far as safety as well as getting down the track and winning rounds. I totally agree with you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Josh Hart on, top fuel driver. He won the Gator Nationals this past couple of weeks here. And sorry, I didn't get a chance to go, Josh. I usually try to go, but I didn't get a chance to make it. I would have loved to see this in person. But I have another question for you, and that is, what changes were made after the first round to give you 3 great round wins?
It might be a secret.
I hope you'll give us a little bit of an insight.
So I have a little bit of a mechanical background. So I walked up to Ron and I said, "Listen, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to adjust a couple of things for me, and I promise you, if you make these changes, I'll turn on the wind light." And he made the changes immediately, and if you see my reaction times, they improved drastically.
Oh, yes. Definitely. There in the final, I think you had a 023 light, if I'm not mistaken, 023 or 026. And they were getting better round per round. You want me to ask the next one?
Sure.
Super.
Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
No, super grateful for Ron. I mean, he just said that a lot of drivers don't report things like that back to them.
Right.
They just drive, Like I said, it was kind of a match made in heaven. I gave him a little bit of information, and he did what he had to do.
Right, and I tell you what, I think for teams to be successful, they have to have great communication between the crew chief and the driver, and I tell you, and it showed. It showed there at the Gator Nationals.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the winner, so
he's a champion. That's
you're
it.
the champion there. So, another question: does winning the Gator Nationals give you an opportunity to race a few more races than you planned this year?
Oh, great question.
We didn't really have anything ironclad set in stone, but the answer is yes. I mean, if we start, maybe getting ahead a little bit more than normal in the points, we'll definitely make some schedule adjustments.
Well, I know who's number one in the points right now.
Yeah. We don't even have to take a guess at that one.
And that would be Josh Hart is number one right now in points and top fuel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Josh Hart on, NHRA top field driver and winner of the Gator Nationals. Here's your chance to call in. Michael, phone lines are wide open, right? 904-458-7588. If you have a question for Josh Hart right now, here's your chance to get it in and talk to the Gator National winner this year. I do have another question while we're waiting on the phone call, Josh. How much confidence did you gain taking out the 3-time world champ in the second round?
You know, I had a very jaded opinion, thanks to the media outlets, of Mr. Steve Torrance. And I'll tell you what, in the staging lanes, he was awesome. Like, he talked to me like a normal human being. He was super down to earth. So I guess I started off on the wrong foot. I thought he was going to be, arrogant and cocky, and it was not that way at all. He was super down to earth, and he just said, "Hey, man, run your own race." That's what I did.
That's very good.
Yeah. I've known Steve for a couple of years as well, and I'm real good friends with a PR person of his, and I've never really seen, that side of, what sometimes media makes of somebody. And I think sometimes media does that because they use it as an excuse for you to tune in more. And all they really have to do is bring out the good stuff about somebody, and that right there will grab the attention of the people. You raced in the final against Sean Langdon, and he's another driver that I have a lot of respect for. He's a sportsman racer. He went through the ranks, and I tell you, a while back, they were putting down some sportsman racers.
Right.
Some of the media was putting down sportsman racers, and a couple of drivers. I don't remember the names. I wouldn't bring them up anyway because I don't want to shed no negative light on nobody. And he says, "I want to tell you one thing right now." He says, "If it wasn't for the sportsman racers, we wouldn't be racing."
You're right.
He says they're the ones that help keep it going on. And he says, "I'm gonna tell you one thing right now." He says those sportsman racers get out there on that tree, and it's left up on that tree. He says they'll probably send you home because they have to be really good to win.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a great guy you had to run there in the final. Sean Langdon, and did y'all get to talk any there at the end of the shutdown area before you received your Wally Trophy?
Yeah, I just said, I think I said to everybody, as a matter of fact, how starstruck I was. You think about these names, and I watched them for the last 5 years, and they're out there kicking butt and taking names, and they're on the main stage in front of 20,000 people or whatever it is. But you see your name alongside those names, and it was just super surreal for me, And the same thing with Sean Langdon. After we actually ran each other in qualifying, and I talked to him briefly, and it was just kind of, hey, how's it going? That type, small talk.
Right.
But after we won, he was super professional and congratulated me, and I think it's just like you said, it's however the media wants to spin it. They all seem like really decent people.
Right, and they are. I mean, from everywhere, from top fuel ranks all the way down to the pro stock motorcycles. I have never seen nothing negative at the track. Definitely nothing negative from drivers toward fans. And to me, that outlet, NHRA's, is a brand, and it carries a lot. Well, to me, better than NASCAR. Not to take a lot away from NASCAR, but it does. It lets the fans get up personal with the drivers and with some of the crew there, because we all know that it takes that crew plus that driver to make that car go A to B every single time and win races.
Yeah.
And
I have another question for
Sure.
Josh, and maybe you can help answer it as well. Josh, I know that a lot of the way that racing is done now, whether it's NASCAR, NHRA, motorcycle racing, whatever racing, a lot of computers are used to get your, of course, your information and to make adjustments and things like that. How qualified, I had this question asked to me and I really didn't know the answer. How qualified do you have to be as far as knowing computers, knowing different programs and things like that, if somebody wanted to get into the industry and maybe want to be a crew chief or just part of a crew? Right. What do they have to know as far as computers and knowledge of computers?
I'll tell you what, if I could download Ron Douglas's brain somehow into mine, I'd pay almost anything. It's a lot of proprietary information, but the truth of the matter is, I heard a rumor that you can change the timing alone in a car during a run 30 times.
Wow.
So if you're changing the timing 30 times in 3.7 seconds, and that's just one phase to consider, that's pretty unbelievable. So I don't know if that answers your question, but between the clutch, the fuel volume, and the timing, there's a whole lot going on in a very short period of time.
Right. And I tell you, you have to be a pretty good weatherman, too, to look at the altitude and the water grains in the air and take all those factors, the temperature of the track. There's a lot of factors and variables there that you have to figure out to set up your clutch pack, how it's going to work, how much power you're going to put down on the track, and what area that you're going to put it down on. Right. And I tell you what, my hat's off to them because they're way smarter than I am in figuring that stuff out.
Head gasket thickness and blower pulleys and tire pressure and wheelie bar sensor pressure. How hard is the car hitting when it takes off? It all factors into it. Plus the weight of the car, the amount of fuel, the weight of the driver. There's a lot of variables for sure.
Right. And I tell you, you bring up a great point right there, Josh, about setting up the car because, on the NHRA tour, we go into some areas like Washington State where they run up there, and you got two choices that you can do. You can change the pulley on the blower, or you can get the thickness of the head gaskets to make up some differences there for your runs.
Yeah. Well, Josh, hey, we appreciate you coming on and spending just a little bit of time with us here on the Spot with David Rodgers. And again, thank you for joining us. It was a great segment. You provided a lot of great information. And again, I just want to thank you from the bottom of our heart and my crews as well for coming on. And hey, look at that. There's Zane there.
Yeah, that's Zane, my son with Josh there after his win.
So
he was walking around telling you, good job.
But we want to thank you, Josh, for coming on, and hopefully we can reach out to you again, and you can be our guest again on a future show.
Well, I tell you, Josh, one thing. Atlanta's coming up here in a couple of weeks, and this is going to be the last race for NHRA for the pro category cars there. Yeah. And what great way would it be for you to win the last race in Atlanta? Yeah. So we hope the best for you. And like I said, when you get those T-shirts in or those shirts in, whatever kind they are, you let me know and we will be purchasing some from you.
I look forward to it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. We'll be following you. We appreciate you coming on.
All right. Take care.
You too.
That was Josh Hart, ladies and gentlemen, NHRA Top Fuel driver and winner of the Gator Nationals. As always, a great interview. Had a lot of great information and how he won that and broke it all down for us and everything. And, for a lot of people don't understand NHRA, he broke that down about as simple as you can get. Your basic... your basic math, your algebra problem became your basic math problem.
And I tell you, he did not have an easy way to the final whatsoever. He went through some really great drivers to get that win.
Yes, he did. I'll tell you what. And that's the scoop for tonight. Who? I'm David Rodgers. But
I'm
you're
Mitchell Gunn. We'll be right back after this message.
Schuster and Sabin is the leading firm in Florida with 8 offices from the Panhandle to the Florida Keys to handle your claims for personal injury, workplace violations, and PIP claims for medical professionals. Visit us online at www.piplaw.com or call 24 hours a day at 877-511-7829. Schuster and Sabin Law Offices for all your legal needs.
And now, with the latest national and international update, here is Your World Report with Byron Bagwell.
Welcome back to On the Spot with David Rodgers. It is now time for the national and news report. Mr. Byron Bagwell is not with us, but we're going to fill in on a couple of little things before we wrap it up tonight. By the way, Mitchell, that was a great interview with Josh Hart. If you missed any of that, you can go back and catch the replay of Facebook.
Right.
And be able to watch that again. And YouTube, it will be on probably within a couple of days. Austin having some technical difficulties with that particular thing, but he'll get it back on track.
And I just want to let everybody know, please pay attention to our page as well as just tuning in to us when we come on the air. Yeah. We put out a lot of great information, a lot of things that's going on in our local community and also nationally. And also, it will allow you to know what guests that we're going to have on next. And so we're going to continue reaching out, trying to get other guests. Not all drag racing related.
No.
But there are some other people I'm going to try to bring in the sporting realm of things. And
I'll give it away a little bit. Michael Heater has been working desperately hard to try to get on Coach Urban Meyer. Hey, never know. Hey, maybe a month from now, a couple of months from now. I know the NFL draft's coming up. There's a lot of combines going on. Right. He's watching a lot of players. Maybe just not the right timing. But I bet you before it's over with, I bet Urban Meyer's on this show. Right. I know you have a couple of the track star over at for the Gators.
Sure. Grant Holloway, and also try to reach out to Fletcher Cox that plays for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
But Michael will say, geez, yes, he is another drag racer, and he actually won down there at the NMCA, but we'll talk more about that on Saturday.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing, too, Mitchell, that I haven't really promoted yet, and that is the Bluetooth.
That's right.
Hey, this show is interactive. You can go Bluetooth to your smart TV and watch us on that big, beautiful screen that you have at the house. So we're going to put that on our website as well, if you don't already know that. But yes, you can Bluetooth our show, sit there, eat your dinner, fix your dinner or whatever, and watch us on the big screen. Now, some of us are prettier than others. I guess you're prettier than me, Mitchell, just by a little bit.
I don't know. I'm getting older and wrinkler.
Yeah, that's me too, man. So we know who the pretty guy is. We'll turn the camera on to him here in just a minute.
I thought you was talking about Mr. Man Bun.
Oh, well, no. Anyway, let's get some national news. Here in the last few days, over the past week, you've heard about these shootings that's been going on.
Yes.
It's really terrible. The one in Boulder, Colorado, it was absolutely horrible. Police on Tuesday identified, which is today, a 21-year-old man as a suspect in killing 10 people at a Boulder, Colorado supermarket. Mitchell, Michael, David, it's a shame that we can't go to a supermarket, get our groceries, and get out, pay like you're supposed to, get out without you looking around and knowing what's going on. This kind of thing here just paranoids everybody now because you don't never know where it's going to happen. Boulder, Colorado is a nice sized town, but it's not humongous. I mean, so if it can happen there, it can happen in your little hometown of Start, Florida.
And
that's a shame.
By mentioning that, David, my wife always tells me all the time because I got concealed carry.
Sure.
And she's like, are you really going to have that on you when you walk into Walmart? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Because how about if something like this happens in our town supermarket?
Yes.
And I have a firearm on me, that it becomes my responsibility to try to help get people out
Yeah.
and protect others. So that's why I carry.
Well, and I think that's why all of us carry is for that same reason, not only for defense for yourself and your family,
right,
but
others.
for others. And that's what I'm saying about looking out for others, bringing others toward the forefront. Of course, man, you got a masked gunman sitting there, firing an automatic assault rifle. And, I mean, he ain't just scattering fire everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? You never know who he's going to hit. So if you got a chance to take this guy out with your weapon, you're absolutely going to do it. Right? I mean, that's why you're carrying it. I mean,
that's right.
I mean, why are you carrying it if you're not intending to use it?
Right.
And that's the thing there. Use it when you have to.
Yes, intending to use it when necessary.
When necessary. And that's exactly right. Suspect Ahmad Alawi Alisa from Arvada, Colorado, had lived most of his life in the U.S., believe it or not, said Boulder County District Attorney Michael Doherty. He was undergoing treatment at a hospital and was expected to be booked into the county jail later Tuesday, according to Daugherty, what he said.
Wow.
The authorities also identified the 9 victims after previously identifying a police officer who had been killed as well. And
he rushed in to the aid those that were in harm's way.
Michael, I want to bring you in on this a little bit. You work for emergency management. You work for the sheriff's department. You do a lot of different things. And, the narrative has been for the past year and a half, 2 years, let's defund the police. Really? Here's a case where a man, was he a family man? Did it say, did he have kids and a wife and kids?
Didn't say. We're still looking at that one.
Okay.
And the kicker with this is that this was the latest in a series.
Shootings. Yes.
And there has been some congressional representatives that arbitrarily said, "Oh, it must be a conservative white male with a gun." Well, obviously, you see that that's not the case here.
Right.
The shooting in Atlanta, where 8
Asian Americans
were shot. They claimed that this individual was racist, when in actuality, the investigation reveals that the suspect was actually dealing with sex addiction issues and rejection from several Asian women.
Yeah.
And he took it out on these targeted areas in Atlanta. So it goes back to a mental health concern. It goes back to an educational concern. Is it a gun control issue? Make that your own choice and opinion.
Right.
I can tell you that all of a sudden Washington is abuzz with the president now really pushing gun control once again, because we have individuals who are reacting adversely against the population, and there was nobody there immediately to neutralize the threat.
Yeah.
To neutralize the threat.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that about assault weapons. The Herald said police engaged in a shootout with a suspect inside the supermarket, and that's when officer, and I want to say his name, Eric Talley, was killed. Let me tell you something. Officer Talley, hey, condolences to you and your family, to your mother, father, whoever is out there, your wife. You are a hero to us on the spot with David Rodgers, but you're a hero to the nation and to Boulder, Colorado, and that supermarket for going in and doing what you did.
Well, like Michael was saying a while ago, they a lot of people up in Washington D.C. don't let a good crisis go to waste. To put their own reaction to it to control what you do in your normal life, so.
And
shame
here we go.
on them.
And here we go. The gunman was carrying an AR-15. And here we go again. I'm sure this is not going to stop. This is going to be the narrative for the next several weeks, especially if these shootings continue. But even if they don't continue, we've had enough of these shootings already, not just here recently, but in the past, with some kind of assault rifle, either an AR-15.
Right.
Hey, I've heard one that had an M16. You hear it all. And now this is going to be more of a target to ban assault rifles.
But you know how many people get killed by what weapon? The most common weapon.
Yeah.
A hammer.
Yes, exactly. And how many times have we said, there's the gun, Does a gun kill anybody if it's laying on the table?
No, the stupid idiot behind the trigger.
It's the guy that picks it up and goes click, click. That is who. It's not the. Yes, the gun was the weapon used.
Right.
But it's not. It's the person behind it. Here we go again with 1 dead and 5 wounded in that Dallas nightclub shooting.
That's right.
In Dallas, Texas, someone opened fire at Dallas nightclub early Saturday, killing 1 person and wounding 5 others. The shooting happened during a fight between 2 groups inside the Prime nightclub. Police said in a statement, the shooter got away. The 6 people were shot, taken to hospitals. 1 was pronounced dead. The conditions of the wounded ranged from stable to critical condition, police said. So here we go. You know what I mean? There's with the Asian. And see, okay, Dallas nightclub. Mike, I don't know who was in this nightclub. I'm going to assume it was a variety of people of all races in there.
Yes.
White, black, Hispanic, Asian, in that particular nightclub. In that supermarket, I'm assuming there was a multiracial people shopping.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? And now the Asian thing, like Mike said, that was because this guy had a mental psychotic problem. He was a sex addict, had been turned down by some Asian women in previous time. So he figured he'd go ahead and take this out on the Asian population, and he just went in there and started shooting the place up. When you're mentally deranged like that, you tend to go ahead, you know what I'm saying,
right.
and do some things that you wouldn't think.
And I tell you, we need to get away from a nation being split with a bunch of different races. We no matter what our origin is, we are Americans.
Yes, we are.
And we got to start getting that out. We're Americans.
Yeah. In a news conference on Wednesday, investigators said that Mr. Long, 21, of Woodstock, Georgia, admitted to the shooting spree and said that he denied that the attack was motivated by race. So I think where Michael hit was head on. He does face 4 counts of murder and 1 count of aggravated assault, according to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. He apparently has an issue, as Mike said, when it comes to sex addiction, and he sees these locations as a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate. According to Captain Jay Baker, adding that Mr. Long was caught this time with a 9mm handgun, and he did not resist arrest. So that's a good sign there. But it sounded like this guy, Michael, as you said, and Dave, he visited these massage parlors. I hate this. This is, again, it's profiling, but it's not. This is what I know as of facts. A lot of your massage parlors, mostly your massagists, are not generally Asian women.
Right.
They do a great job with massages. And, this guy got in there, and I think he thought he was going to get a little, probably on several occasions,
right,
more than what he
paid for.
And that's exactly right. And these women said, no, he was rejected, already mentally deranged. Poof, he leaves out of there. What does it do? What Mike said, builds. And finally,
right,
guess what?
When you have a mental illness,
you
just get to the point that it becomes a powder keg.
Yes, it does. How about some of these mass shooting statistics right here?
This is for 2021.
2021, ladies and gentlemen. Number of mass shootings. Listen to this: 56 in 2021.
Okay. Now compare that to
2020. 612 in 2020.
Now, by definition, a mass shooting is defined where 3 or more victims are identified.
Right.
That doesn't mean that they were necessarily critically wounded or succumbed to fatal injuries, but they were victims of gunfire.
Right.
And it's over 3 people. So put that in perspective. We're not talking about 600 people, dozen people being shot.
Right.
That's the numbers happen. So
it's like someone walks in a mall. There's 150 people in there at that time when he shoots.
Right.
And he hits 2 of them, kills 1, that right there becomes a mass shooting.
The country concert that happened in Las Vegas.
Right.
When the guy from his window and he just shot at a random crowd. What was in that crowd? More than 3,000 people. Over 3,000 people in there.
Right.
And he started laying fire out there. And that's where Mike said, where three or more, I'm assuming it was gathered, right? Where
That's
three
correct.
or more gathered. So,
Right.
but yeah, 56 already in 2021. There's a pie chart here, and that's a good breakdown, Mike, of what is going on. I'm not going to get into that.
Which we are early into 2021.
Yes, we are. Maybe we'll get into that.
We
later.
just need to hope and pray that these things kind of calm down.
Yes, we definitely do. Our administration talks about unity. These are the things that we've got to stop right here and show people. And it starts with our administration. They've got to show unity first and bring it down, to us and show them that they're doing what they're preaching. Practice what you preach.
I got a question.
Sure.
Or an answer for everybody to do. Everybody in this nation needs to go back and watch what happened during 9/11.
Of course.
And all those people, because guess what? Mm-hmm. They were all different races.
Yes, they were.
That died when those buildings collapsed and died on those aircraft when they crashed into the Pentagon and out there in that field. We became one nation again.
Under God,
up underneath when that happened. Everybody go back and watch that video and remember what happened the next day when we became united. Half this crap wouldn't be going on.
All right, David, I've got a question for you. In those 56 shootings that Michael brought up, how many do you think more were done with assault weapons or handguns?
Handgun.
Well, that's a nice guess. Because Biden is targeting assault weapons when handguns are most often used in mass shootings. Yeah. If we're targeting the wrong things. Yeah. If you're going to target and get rid of weapons, get rid of what is shown to be the cause of these mass shootings.
Right.
It's always an assault rifle, Mike. Why is that? Why do people always assume that it's an assault rifle?
Actually, there's no such thing as an assault rifle.
Which is true.
That's correct.
That's right.
It is a perception that actually goes back to the 60s. Take Kent State, for example.
Kent State, yeah.
People have the image burned in their minds of the shooter with a long barrel up in the tower. Taking out people. Fast forward, when you see terrorist activities overseas in the Middle East, and you see, you see different groups that are terrorist groups like that one.
Yeah.
What do they have? They have long rifles, or they have automatic weapons. As far as machine guns, that sort of thing like that. Truth be told, we're driven by the perception of these big weapons. I mean, when you picture the U.S. military, the American soldier, the American Marine, and they're moving, what are they carrying? They're carrying rifles. They're carrying machine guns.
Yeah.
You don't see the use of a pistol, of a handgun, a sidearm that's utilized. However, it's interesting, and I'll let you read through this one.
Yes.
That the statistics prove that otherwise.
Yeah, and that's a great point you bring up. The analytics from Statistica, handguns are involved in about 78% of mass shootings in the United States between the years of 1985 and to now, making them the most common weapon used in such tragedies. Why is that? My perception. You can conceal it. You can bring it in and not be seen with it a lot of times. You're carrying a rifle or you're putting a rifle in, you can pretty much see that, and you're going to be aware of what's going on.
And another point off of what Michael was saying, we also have Hollywood, and we also have video games
Portraying
the same stuff.
Right.
In these kids.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, one of the most violent games to me is that Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that Grand Theft Auto. If you do it from start to finish, I mean, hey, You're going into the nightclub. You're partying with the boys. The ladies are dancing all over you. All the stuff that is portrayed or they think is happening, if you want to call it thug life or criminal life, whatever you want to call it, that portrays that. And then at the end is shoot 'em up, bang 'em up. Yep. So guess what? It must be all right if it's on a video game, right? Well, that's not necessarily true because what happens is now I can leave it as a game. Me and you can play the game. All right, David, you got me on this one. And we can leave it like that. Some people can't leave it like that. Some people think this is real, and they take it to the next level.
Well, and I'll tell you the truth, David, about that. We talk about commercials.
Right.
Those commercials there are not for us. Those commercials are there is to kind of like brainwash our kids on what items they should buy when they get older.
Right.
Well, these video games teach these younger kids the same exact thing. Now, you take a 16, 17-year-old, I'm hoping they've got the common knowledge to know that it's a video game and not act upon it. But if you take younger kids and they're 7, 8 years, 9 years of age, where their brains are still developing, well, they're getting this image in their head just like those commercials on TV.
You got that right. Here's a controversy that was hardly settled. You remember Columbine High School?
Yes.
Back in 1999? Family members of the shooting victims sued 25 video game companies that they blamed for the deaths. In particular, the game Doom. Remember that one?
Right, yep.
Doom. It was pretty popular, pretty graphic. Came under intense scrutiny over reports that the Columbine shooters may have been influenced by the spectacle of shooting various targets to accumulate points. And if you remember correctly, when they was breaking down after Columbine, and they was breaking down how it all happened, I believe a couple of the students said that these guys were into that game. They were using
the protocol and everything that was used in the game, while they were there at the school.
That's exactly right. So I'm going to leave it with you at that. I just wanted to
I got one thing.
Do you? Yeah, and I've got one more after that, just really quick. But I'm going to let you speak to this. But I'm going to leave you hanging on this particular thing. You take it as you wish, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we brought a little light to the subject here for you. Wanted to talk about that. I know Mr. Bagwell was going to get into it as well. So what do you have, Mitchell? And then I have one more thing I'm going to leave people hanging with.
Well, we all know when President Biden got into office, he decided to stop the building of the border wall.
That's correct.
Well, Texas is having so much trouble on their border, their government's going to go ahead and take over, and they're going to finish the border wall on their state.
Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Nice. So Texas is going to finish the job.
That is correct.
Hey, Texas, the 13th largest economy in the world, they can afford to build a wall.
And I'm going to tell you something. Mm-hmm. If the federal government stops them from building that wall, you know what they're going to say? Mm-hmm. Fine, you're going to stop us? Right. We'll go back as a republic, and then we'll go ahead and we'll build it anyway.
Anyway, right. They'll just succeed from the union. So that's exactly right. But I do want to leave you one more thing. And I'm going to let y'all guys ponder over this. The other day, I seen President Biden and Vice President Harris board Air Force One. And, they're surrounded by Marines. Of course, Marines making sure the plane's okay, guarding the plane, making sure everything is good. Well, it's the common courtesy. And, of course, us being military, Dave, we salute dignitaries. He is our, what? He is our executive officer. He's our executor for the military. Ms. Harris should be there as well as the leader as well. So they both boarded the Air Force One. I will say President Biden did salute. Ms. Harris did not. Now, you can tell me if she's seen it, saw it, I don't know. I looked right at her. The Marine kept a salute up there as long as he could until she passed by and went up. Then he dropped it like he was supposed to. But she didn't salute him. I have an issue with that. Now, I don't know if that was done intentionally. Again, what I've seen of it, I know that she looked right at him. And, I felt like she should have saluted back. I'm going to leave y'all hanging with that till next week. And just let me know what you think on comments right here real quick. I do want to go over just a couple of comments, if I may, gentlemen, and then we'll move on. Cindy Bates is on to Dwight Allen. Tammy Testone said, Alvy has had a lot of medical problems. He was moved out of ICU today, but he's still real weak. He can't speak. He has a tube in. But he is watching. He heard y'all say hi, and he smiled, Michael, really big.
Good.
Well, we're keeping that young fella in our prayers.
Absolutely. Dwight Allen, our brother's on. Charles McGeaney is on. David Rodgers, Kevin Howe. 150 days and a kickoff till Bradford Tornado football. Yes, sir.
Going by quick.
Yeah, Dwight Allen, they getting one or two. Roger Cruz on. Brady Rayburn, Donnie Wiggs, Todd Jordan, Phil Jackson. I do wonder where all the CCWS when this incident happens. Yeah, well, we'll get into that as well. Fast Eddie Dorman, Jimmy Burnett, thank you. It might be a good topic to have on your show, concealed weapons and classes. Pat Welch might be a great resource. Thought about that as well. We thought about doing that and thought about showing a little weapons training as well. Gordon Smith, keeping him in our prayers. Majority of mass shootings often occur in areas of strict gun control laws or ordinances.
That's very true.
Let me tell you something.
Take Chicago, for instance.
Yeah. Hey, Sheriff, by the way, hey, we need you back on the show, man. Just get a hold of me or Michael. Let us know when you want to come on. Don't get rid of guns. Get rid of those idiots. Randy, yeah, absolutely. That's Dave Holland Jr. Let's see. Randy Scoggins, Sheriff Frederick, starts at the top office in our country, and that's exactly what I said. And there's a lot of comments here. Real quick, do want to plug one lady, this candle company right here, 228 Candle Company, maybe a future sponsor, owner Caitlin Casto. Company's out of Pascagoula, Mississippi. She has over 60 fragrances, 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 9 ounce, 12 ounce, 16 ounce, and 20 ounce. This is a 16 ounce container. Smell good?
Yeah, it smells good.
And she has a Facebook page. It's 228 Candle Company, and she does make gunpowder candles. Yeah. Do y'all want one?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're going to order one. David Versace, Caitlin, if you're on, we want. You want a gunpowder? All right. So 2 gunpowders. You want a gunpowder, or you want?
I need to see if she can make some that smells like nitromethane.
I think she can. There you go. I'm going to take an apple, cinnamon, or evergreen. What do you want?
I tell you what, that April.
You like this?
Smells pretty good.
All right. Well, we got an April Fresh. That's 4 orders there.
Cinnamon is pretty.
Yeah, I would like the cinnamon. But anyway, you can visit our Facebook. It's 228 Candle Company out of Pascagoula, Mississippi. Hopefully you get some orders, Caitlin, and then we'll talk about you being a sponsor in our show. We're going to toss it to final comments and then to the weather after we get back from this commercial break. Back here with final comments. I tell you what, it's been a great show. We had Josh Hart on. A great interview. Glad all of y'all have chimed in. Sorry I couldn't get to all of the comments. Had a few things going on tonight as well. Mr. Byron Bagwell couldn't be here. Mr. Austin Stevens couldn't be here. But the 4 gurus right here, we stepped in for everybody. And again, thank you for joining us. Saturday, we've got a sports show that we got coming up. Hey, we got the Sweet 16 for both men and women. It's going to be. So we'll talk about that. We've got a big fight coming up. UFC 260, coming up. So we're going to talk about that. David, we're going to talk a little baseball. We're going to talk a little NFL draft. We're going to talk a little hockey. We're going to even break down some basketball plays.
All right.
I'm going to show you some of those things there. So, Michael, do we have a basketball court?
I can get one.
Are you shooting outside or inside the paint?
I'm going to shoot from the outside. Okay. So, anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. We love each and every one of you. Alvy, we hope you're feeling better. Anybody with a spoken or unspoken prayer request, we hope and pray that God touches you. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight. It was a great show. But before we go, I've got to toss it back to the weatherman because we need to find out exactly what the weather's all about. Hit it up, Michael Hater!
I love the smell of gunpowder in the morning.
Ooh, You're right.
Okay, hey, but enough about gunpowder. Let's talk. You're not going to smell anything with the pollen count. So let's jump into the forecast real quick here. Hey, the pollen count is going to continue to rise. Unfortunately, it's just the nature of the beast here. Oak is going to be the big culprit as we move through the next few days, pushing 12 as we get into the weekend. Be aware of the fact, decent weather for the Strawberry Festival if you're coming to Bradford County and Stark. But again, be aware of the fact that the pollen is going to be a problem. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the national forecast map. The areas right across here. Hold on. Okay. So, now, as we're talking about the weather, moving across this whole region.
Hey, Mike. Is that because you're trying to keep the rain off or the sun off your head?
And that would, with my hair as thin as it is, that's to protect my head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me be certain about that. So, we've got the chances of severe weather in Pascagoula, stretching over to Pensacola. So, David, Cindy, Renee, John, the rest of you guys over in the Pascagoula area, stretching over Alabama coastline, headed over to Pensacola. Bill Edgerton, you guys, Tony Brown, everything over towards Tallahassee. We're going to see some potentially severe weather, and this area here, it's going to continue to move out of the way. Now, for Florida, not so much of a big deal here. We are going to see some dry conditions, and it's going to get hot. These temperatures that are here, the 85 and the 78, they look good now. It's going to continue to skyrocket as we go along. Now, Pascagoula, you're going to be seeing rain for the next couple of days. Tomorrow's going to be a big washout, so you need to prepare for that accordingly. Nashville, stretching down to Atlanta, not as bad, but do expect some passing showers as we move through. So as we move into the forecast for tonight and into the next couple of days here and locally, we're going to need to keep an eye out for the temperatures. Make sure you wear sunscreen. Make sure that you drink plenty of fluids, because these temperatures, as they come across the screen, as you can see, are going to continue to rise. 91 on Thursday. I still think some clouds are going to keep us at or below 90 degrees, but I could be wrong. Austin says look for 92 to 93. He's the weather expert, so regardless of what I say, pay attention to your local forecast and make sure that you're ready for it just in case. Hazy, hot conditions, especially moving into the weekend. So if you're in Pascagoula, you're going to need this for the rain. If you're in Florida, you may need this for the sunshade, but regardless, we have a decent weather forecast for you on tap. Enjoy the rest of your week. Look forward to a Saturday night show. David, we're tossing it back to you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Great weather report. Again, if you have missed part of this show or most of this show and you want to go back and watch it, you can go back right after this and watch it back on Facebook. If you're a YouTube guru, well, YouTube won't be up for just a little bit. We used to try to put it on 24 hours after, but it's not going to be. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties getting it uploaded there, but I can tell you Austin Stevens is on the case. He will have that probably up within the next day and a half. If you want to watch it on YouTube, you can contact us on the spot, 32091@gmail.com. Leave any question, any message, anything that you want to talk about. If you've got a topic, a subject, anything that you want to discuss, you can leave it there, or you can email any one of us or message any one of us. Again, great show. Looking for the one coming up on Saturday. I know we have the Strawberry Festival coming up, and I understand you may be pushing it a little bit, but you'll get here when you can get here.
I'm going to try my best.
Absolutely. On behalf of Mr. Michael Nhra, our director and weather guru, over here to my producer, Super Dave Holland, alongside Mitchell Gunner, the absent Byron Man Bun Bagwell, and Austin Stevens, I'm your host, David Rodgers. God bless you. Enjoy the week. Have a great week. Love one another. And keep reaching for the stars. Love you guys. God bless you. We'll see you on Saturday night.